Well, hello there, guys and girls. Welcome back to another tutorial. So today we're going to be drawing hands. Now, first things first, what's really convenient is you've probably got a hand on the end of your arm. How useful. Use that a lot as reference points, and you can use the other one to hold your pencil, so win-win, if anything. Now, I've done a hand tutorial before. It was basically kind of a knockoff of a Koizu tutorial, so you might as well just go and watch that, but the link will be up here. And that tutorial basically was all about looking at a hand in a relaxed position from different angles, so you kind of understood the thickness, the form, and the build-up of everything. But really, if you're anything like me, when you're doing your character design, you probably hit a stage where you're hiding the hands behind the back of your character, or you're having the arms go off the side of the page so that you don't have to draw, or end up being really disformed and malfigured stumps and things like that. So you've got to just practice lots of hands. They're really difficult to kind of get your head around, but there are some super basic shapes. They're not impossible, no matter how much you think it might be out of your grasp. There's some real basic things to do to build up the form of hands, and after that, the practice is just going to take over. So let's go back to these super basics. The examples I'm going to be doing, just to follow the theme of where we are for tutorials at the moment are going to be super simple female hands. So grab yourself a sheet of paper, follow along at home. I've just got super cheap printer paper here. I've got quite a few sheets down so that it's a soft surface. Super cheap mechanical pencil. This one is a HB, but really it's quite soft lead, so let's say 2B. You're going to make mistakes with hands, they're buggers. So here's a rubber or an eraser, as we're supposed to say nowadays. And also, cup of tea in the background won't hurt as well. Let's dive in. Now, this might not be the perfect way to do it, so do watch loads of hand tutorials on YouTube. Everybody's got their own version. I like to start off with some basic things. Look at the hand, hello there. And you'll notice that there's this whole palm area, and that could kind of be described as a kind of squarish circle, and then you've got all your fingers coming off. And you'll notice firstly, that this distance here, my longest finger, the middle one, the swearing finger, is about the same length as the palm itself. And that's going to be our measuring step number one. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw a super simple hand as if I was drawing some kind of female anime character, and the hand's not in high detail, we just need to get one out of the way. And I'm going to do that by starting off with what might just be considered a circle. Let's just go round and round like so. Let's just make sure as well that's in focus. Oh, brilliant. It just about is. And I'm going to have the hand just kind of coming off in this direction. And what I like to do is I flatten off the end of the circle almost into a square, as if the circle itself is sitting inside of a box. And that flat edge becomes all the knuckles for me. So I'm just going to take that circle shape, flatten it off like so. And so it means for me that the wrist is probably coming off of here. And then everything's going up there. And the order that I like to draw my hands in is always start from the wrist, and the hand grows out, and the fingers grow off of the hand. Hands. Unless the hand is interacting with something, or it's a load of foreshortening where you might start off with the hand first. Usually I start from the arm and grow out. So what I like to do personally is I just put in 4 points, roughly equally distant, along this edge. And for me, that just becomes a very rough guiding point of where the knuckles might be. But now that I know the length of the palm, I'm going to take this distance, I'm going to go this distance up again. again, around about here, and I know that the fingers are going to go no further than this point. So what I can do is, in a very simple sense, when it comes to a palm where all the fingers are together, you can often just map out very simple shapes. I know that it's roughly going to go up like so on this side, roughly going to come up like so on that side, and a thumb will sit on the top. And with these ideas in mind, you can just grow your fingers out from the end. So where I've got these knuckle joints, I'm going to imagine one finger just comes up like a tube, just going to go all the way up and out, just like so. And obviously it's going to go off into a point, curve off as such. And then when it comes to the first fingers, and also the ring fingers as well, they're going to be a little bit shorter, but a very similar thing. So I'm going to have another tube that just comes up here, stops a little bit short, another one that's going to come up around about here. Again, stops just short of this line. And the little finger, so useful to have hands, is much, much shorter again. So I'm going to bring this little finger just up. Maybe I'm going to have it just come out just a little bit as well, and finish around about here. Now, in the last tutorial, I did talk about the fact that the finger joints are split in such a manner that the first joint is almost halfway, kind of stops around about here, and then the next one is a little bit smaller, and then the very end joint is the smallest space of the finger, so to speak. And then it just gets brought down a little bit, each finger, and so on. Although we're not going to worry too much about that. We are drawing the back of the hand, but this gives you an idea of how we get those fingers in. You can then get your thumb in, and I often do this just by creating a lump that comes off of the side, just a bulge like this, and then there's two real stages to the thumb that grows off. One is just the main part of the thumb finger area, and the other is just that very large thumb area off the top. So I can just get that in as another shape as well. And that really is just a super simple hand shape. Let's see how it's doing through the camera phone. Make sure that's nice and in focus. And what I'm going to do is just kind of follow this very basic building block shape to get a few more examples in. This is going to be a relatively quick tutorial with any luck. Now, when it comes to doing those female hands, it's often nice to just turn the points just into nails, but might just kind of point ever so slightly off of the end. And remember, for the most part, all you've ever got to worry about is this rough outline shape. It's just the outline that you might be keeping with a lot of your drawings, because this is all about just getting a hand shape, a good hand lump off the end of the arm stump. Ooh, gross. But you kind of know what I'm getting at. So let's have another go of exactly this idea, and just have the fingers maybe a bit more further out displayed. And we're going to just talk about the gaps in between. So once again, I'm just going to get myself a nice big circle around about here, kind of like so. I'm going to flatten off the part where I want the hand to be off to the right. So this becomes my palm, so to speak. Who knows where the wrist is? It might just be coming down off here. And another thing as well is that the more detail you build up, the bigger the hands are, the closer they are to the viewer, or the more focus you put on the hands, the more little extra nuances you need to learn about. But for just the basics, you can also know there's often a bit of a circular shape here and a bump here as well, just to indicate the bones of the forearm where they meet the wrist. It's not the most important thing in the world for the basics, but certainly worth mentioning. So I've got the end line here, and I'm going to have knuckles all the way down here. These are where the fingers are going to sprout from, and the thumb as well. In this example, still has that lump off to the side, but if I splay the thumb out, I might just have a thumb just shoot right off and back like so. And you'll notice the back end of the thumb, I'm drawing with straight lines, just like here, and then the inside edges, I'm still using more curved shapes to bring that in. So, once again, I know this distance here is going to mark as approximately here. That'll be the longest furthest away point. And now just to get those fingers in. If I start from the very top, are, the closer they are to the viewer or the more focus you put on my hands, the more little extra nuances you need to learn about. But for just the basics, you can also know there's often a bit of a circular shape here and a bump here as well, just to indicate the bones of the forearm where they meet your wrist. It's not the most important thing in the world for the basics, but certainly worth mentioning. So I've got the end line here, and I'm going to have knuckles all the way down here. These are where the fingers are going to sprout from, and the thumb as well, in this example, still has that lump off to the side, but if I splay the thumb out, I might just have a thumb just shoot right off and back, like so. And you'll notice the back end of the thumb, I'm drawing with straight lines, just like here, and then the inside edges, I'm still using more curved shapes to bring that in. So, once again, I know this distance here is going to mark as approximately here. That'll be the longest furthest away point. And now just to get those fingers in, if I start from the very top, I'm going to have one finger not come anywhere near that point. Just imagine these as cylinders that turn into points or weird missile shapes, who knows what you want to call them. And then now, because the fingers are splayed apart, I'm going to have a bit of a gap here, almost where there might be webbing, so to speak, if you were kind of a mutant. And then the next finger, the longest one, probably going to make it all the way out to that end line, just like so. Great. Another bit of web, and then let's get another finger, not quite making it all the way out again, nice and splayed apart. You'll notice I'm moving my arm around so that I can get some nice, easy, smooth lines working together. And then the little finger, when you splay your palm out, that little finger can shoot off at quite an angle, quite independently. So let's just go off down here, really randomly, with this little guy. And there you go, you've got this nice, wide open setup. Now there's all sorts of things where you might start from here, especially if you watch a lot of other tutorials. I'll say start from here and understand that the bones all start from inside the hand. It grows all the way out to the end, which is absolutely fine. But when you're just trying to get a really quick hand in on the end of the arm of your female characters, just understanding these really basic shapes is going to help a lot. This isn't going to be one of those tutorials where there's 100 different examples of hands holding cups and opening doors and things. That'll be for the future. We will go through a lot more hand tutorials because there's just so much variation and things to talk about. But let's just keep getting this really smooth, loose idea going. But let's up the game plan. Let's look at the inside of the hand just a little bit. I'm going to have an arm that's up, and I'm going to have a hand that is maybe just a bit like this, a bit on angle, that you see it from the inside edge. So let's go ahead again, just making sure everything's on the page. And let's say that's the end of our wrist. And I'm going to have it so that the thumb side of the hand is furthest away and the little finger edge is closest to us. Now I've got this circle, sure, when we're looking flat, but maybe I need to imagine that as being a bit more of a disc. So in this example, this circle probably is going to be shaped a bit more like this. So I'm going to imagine that it still has thickness. So I'm going to create a kind of disc shape. Maybe it's something like this. Again, I'm just going to flatten off the edge of it, where the fingers are probably going to come from. And I'm going to just mark in some knuckles. Because this is foreshortened, they're probably just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way there. And most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb is probably going to be, again, a lump around about here. And then the thumb's just going to go maybe up and off and do its own thing. loose idea going. But if we just say that's the end of our wrist, and I'm going to have it so that the thumb side of the hand is furthest away, and the little finger edge is closest to us. Now I've got this circle, sure, I'm looking flat, but maybe I need to imagine that as being a bit more of a disc. So in this example, this circle probably is going to be shaped a bit more like this. So I'm going to imagine that it still has thickness. So I'm going to create a kind of disc shape. Maybe it's something like this. Again, I'm just going to flatten off the edge of it, where the fingers are probably going to come from. And I'm going to just mark in some knuckles. Because this is foreshortened, they're probably just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way there. And most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb is probably going to be, again, a lump around about here. And then the thumb's just going to go maybe up and off and do its own thing. So if I just get this thumb up away very quickly, it's just kind of throwing off that bit. And most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb is probably going to be, again, a lump around about here. And then the thumb's just going to go maybe up and off and do its own thing. So if I just get this thumb up away very quickly, it's just kind of throwing off at this point here. And you'll notice I'm separating this thumb into its own kind of rough tubular shape, like so, and drawing in maybe just a bit of a lifeline. So this is where the palm itself creates this line here. This is called your lifeline on your hand, something like so. And then if you imagine that this self making this thumb into its own kind of rough tubular shape, like so, and drawing in maybe just a bit of a lifeline. So this is where the palm itself is thumb into its own thing. So if I shape of the thumb, it's probably going to be, again, a lump around about here for all the way there from. And I'm going to just mark in some knuckles. Because this is foreshortened, they're probably just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Fingers are probably going to come from. And I'm going to just mark in some knuckles. Because this is foreshortened, They're probably just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way there, and most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits. And the shape of the thumb, most of it will be covering itself with all the fingers and bits It's probably going to be again a lump around about here. It's probably going to be again a lump around about here. It's probably going to be again a lump around about here. It's probably going to be again a lump around about here. It's probably going to be again a lump around about here. It's probably going to be again a lump around about here. It's probably going to be again a lump around about here. It's probably going to be again a lump around about here. It's probably going to be again a lump around about here.
There it is. Oh my god. There it is. Oh my god. There it is. Oh my god. There it is. God, I'm so fucked. God, I'm so fucked. God, I'm so fucked. Oh. God, I'm so fucked. Oh. Okay, now there's too much echo. 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 Okay. So, okay. Oh my god. So, okay. Oh my god. So, the voice meter just didn't. The voice meter just didn't. Just disconnected my mic for some reason. The one time that I've been doing this for 40 minutes, and it just. That I've been doing this for 40 minutes, and it just. That I've been doing this for 40 minutes, and it just. That I've been doing this for 40 minutes. I'm so pissed. 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 I am absolutely. 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 This whole time. 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 Well, I gotta stop it now. Because this isn't gonna work. I can't believe I've been doing this for 50 minutes and there was no sound for 40 of it. I am just so mad. I'm just keeping it up. I'm keeping it up. It's real. This is happening. Oh, I am so mad. This never happened in any of my tests. Voicemeeter just had my mic just working. It just worked. And now all of a sudden it's like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I am gonna just like mess this up. Oh my god, I am so pissed. You know what? Fuck it. I am just so fucking pissed. Alright. I just honestly can't believe it right now. I am just so mad. I'm just so disheartened right now. This is just unbelievable. 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 Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. And there's an echo when I run this. All right. Well, no, it's gonna keep up. I gotta reset it though. All right, here we go.